So you want to add some delay to your lead guitars?
Some delay. Hey.
Let's look at that. Hi and welcome to Earthtide Studios. I'm Zach Knight, and in today's video I'm going to be looking at some lead guitar processing that I'm doing on a track that I'm currently producing and mixing for an independent artist. This is some pop-punk trap kind of stuff, and he's recorded a whole bunch of cool guitars in this production, and I came up with a couple of different techniques to approach how I'm dealing with this, and there's a few really cool production techniques used in the performance of the guitar that sort of mimic delay as well, so I wanted to show a couple of those cool things for you guys. Also, I have a free vocal production course that teaches the basics of recording, editing, and mixing. If you want that, feel free to click the link below. I also have some premium courses and I do production mentoring. But enough about that. Let's jump into the video and check out what's going on with those guitars. I've got this sick track that I'm working on for a good dude over in Adelaide that came over here for some production, and the music is sounding pretty fire. This mix is extremely dense, so we'll see how we go just playing this right now. As you can hear, it's pretty sick, but the only thing that I've noticed, so I've got some of the DIs here that have been sent through to me, and it's really cool. This part is actually, it sounds like this. And what's really cool about the composition for this that we went through during pre-pro is that this is actually two separate individual sides to create that cool stereo effect of the parts. There's one side that goes like this, and then one this. However, the only problem that I've got is that they seem to be a little bit out of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through in Cubase and just edit them all quickly in time, and then you'll be able to hear the difference, and I can show you how I'm doing the processing on them. So we've got these DI tracks here. So what I'm going to do is just going to start by cutting here, and I'm basically just going to go along and I'm going to use Alt to cut, and I'm going to use Control and Alt to do slip editing, and I'm basically going to try and see if I can get the transient of the DI to line up nicely. And basically, I'm only going to really cut when I want to either have something being held in place, or if I want to actually bring it over in time with what needs to go on there. So we've got that one there. That's fine. That one there's a little out of time. That one I'm actually going to drag it from here because the information starts around about here. As you can see with that little line there. Moving along a little bit out of time there. That's fine. I don't want them to be like... Every single one of them doesn't have to be exactly in time. It's more that they just need to be pretty close to being in time because there's a little bit of a flowiness to the part. But because the drums are so like push with the part, I do need to make sure that these lead guitars do line up in time, simply because otherwise I'll have issues with the way that things feel when we pull the vocals in. And as much as this lead guitar part is pretty busy, it is somewhat sitting a little bit in the back, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing to be able to give it a little bit more poke in the mix, which is definitely obviously super important, especially when we've got something that's as dense as this. There's actually quite a lot of vocals going on in this chorus as well. Yes, because this is the chorus, and so I want to make sure that the guitars are sticking out, but they're not getting in the way of the vocals. Thankfully, these ones are a left and right panned part, so that's going to make a big difference, but that's kind of what we've got going on here. So right now, we've got this now. They should be sounding much better and in time. Awesome. Now that they're in time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight them, and I'm going to go Control-Shift-B, which is I've hotkeyed that to bounce selection in Cubase, and we're going to now print them so that there's no longer that information going on for Cubase is having to calculate the edits for them now. So So we'll have a look at what I've got going on in the chain for these. So we've got Pro Q3 running here before my amp sim, and I'm just basically cutting out a little bit of low end there for that because I want these lead guitars to poke through and I don't need that unnecessary low information. And then I'm actually using something interesting. I'm actually using the free Slate amp modeler, the THU version, and I've just gone with this classic solo humbucker preset and I've just made some modifications. So we've got a bit of overdrive, we've got a little bit of phaser going on here. We're using a like 75 style Marshall style drive. Amplifier. I've got the drive all the way up and the volume's down a little bit, the level, but the actual volume's all the way up. So it's driving quite a lot. And I've got heaps and heaps and heaps of mid going on here because this is a lead guitar tone. I really want it to poke through. Then I've got a little bit of tape delay on here. The mix is only sitting at 16% and 14% of the reverb there for a small style reverb, which is just a room style one. And then after that, I've actually got it running through Decapitator as well, giving it a whole bunch extra edge. So this is what it sounds like on its own without Decapitator. And I'll just play both of them at the same time. Pretty cool. And then with Decapitator. Gives it way more edge. And then what I've got going on is I've got a bit of processing here on my bus. I've got an SSL channel here. In this one here, all I'm doing is cutting off some lows and cutting off some highs and getting rid of a little bit of 800 there to sort of stop making it get in the way and giving it a very, very small amount of poke around about 1.7K. And then after that, pretty sure that's the majority of what I'm doing on the SSL. Let's have a look. So it's not doing that much. Mostly it's just there to control things. Then I've got Soothe here, and this is just helping to deal with some peaks. I always love just running Soothe really subtly. And then this is really the big source here. I'm using the Extressor here from Kive Audio, and I've got that on the guitar thickener preset. And we're doing a whole bunch of gain reduction here to even out those lead guitars, but also just give them a bunch more saturation and warmth. Let's check it out. I really love how it sounds. It gives it a lot more warmth and a little bit more bite, but it also helps even it out as well. As you can see, it's running in stereo, so it's got two different mono compressors running, which is really good to be able to make sure that you get a bit more evenness. And then after that, I am just running a little bit of EQ here, rolling off a little bit more low end and high end and dealing with a couple of peaks here. This is mostly to do with getting in the way of vocals for these ones here. Pretty cool, right? So then I've got a bunch of processing going on here in terms of my effects. I've got this one's a split harmony, which is like a doubler, and a fake, like a small style ping pong delay, which has got really, really small amount of wetness. Some chorus. I've got a delay there as well. Another one. I'm actually sidechaining these to the rhythm guitars. And then I've got a cool thing going on here with Baby Audio, using this Super VHS in multiple ways. I've got one which has got a bit of shape going on there, and the other one where I'm running a little bit more heavy on the mix, and then I'm also scooping that out a little bit as well. Let's check out what it sounds like with all these effects on now. Pretty cool, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to check it out in the mix, and I'm going to turn the effects off and then on again. It's kind of a little bit subtle. All it's really doing is just giving it a little bit more width and a little bit more poke, and also just kind of making things sound a little bit weirder and funkier. So there you go, a couple of interesting production techniques that mimic delay, and also some cool spatial effects that really make that performance unique and interesting in such a dense production. Certainly not the only way you can approach it, but for me, it felt really good to come up with that resolution and a nice way that I approach it with this song, which is different from other songs that I've done before. Again, if If you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe. Don't forget that we have that free vocal production course. And if you need any help with your productions, of course, you can check us out on our premium content. And also you can get in touch with me if you're looking at production mentoring. But for now, I hope that you're well and take it easy.
Bye!